Welcome to Cat the Minion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. I'm doing card of the day, and let me put that back up because I was getting late from there. Some reflection. Okay. Oh, yeah, welcome to card of the day. I'm using the Thoth deck. I've got the mirror with the light on again. I tried to put the LED flashlight on to get like light over here, but because it's daytime, there's more light just coming from the lamp. So I got the mirror over here again, and I'm trying to make it easier to see the cards. That looks pretty good right there. The reflection off my glasses is kind of giving me a headache, so I think I'm going to take them off again. At least until I need to hold up the thing. Really tense and frustrated. I'm in this zone where I have either like a dead battery or I have like maximum overdrive adrenaline. I can't just sit and pick at something for a while because it turns into like 6 hours later and I need to like refuel or pass out. So I don't know what's wrong with me, except that it's kind of how I was raised. And I need to, at some point in my adult life, learn how to moderate my energy when I'm doing stuff. I think a lot of it has to do with that fire energy that's going on right now. Despite being sun sign Capricorn and having, is it a stellium when you have 3? I have a Capricorn stellium, but I also have a Sagittarius stellium, and my moon is in Leo, so I'm like heavily affected by the fire energies right now. The tendency to be irritated by all the things. So, oh yeah, so I was trying to finally like calm down a little bit. I taped some crystals to my body. So like something's got to give over here. And I was trying to watch a video and relax, and all of a sudden I was feeling the Thoth deck. I think my higher self wants me to use the charms that I made, but those are supposed to be for Patreon, and I'm not up to making some videos for that yet. I'm like anxious and scared to go in there, and I don't know why. But I am going to make some sample videos. At least until there's actually patrons in there. Just put up some for the tiers as samples of what I'm going to be doing over there. I just need to get all my shit in order. Cleaned up my desk and rewrote all my lists of things that I need to work on. I worked on some of my prints on DeviantArt last night. I edited them. Some of the templates were like crossed, and I think they finally fixed that. I was able to update those properly, at least for the ones that I worked on, and I separated out a couple of the designs from the digital remasters that I did to make prints. I got the prints up, so I've redone and added a few of those. So instead of like 27 or 28 prints, I now have like 30 or 31 on DeviantArt. Then I've got this huge list. I went through all of my images and scribbled down which ones I'm going to be adding or editing or redrawing or making prints out of. So I've got a whole pile of that to work on. I've got Cafe Press stuff to finish editing. I've got to completely redesign 2 of the designs. I still need to add the masks and delete the merchandise that they don't have anymore. It's redo some templates. It's a lot. I need staff, but I also need income. To remember that I'm doing all the things myself, and every time I make a new account, I spread myself a little bit thinner, because I'm still getting used to being on Instagram, because I've only been on there for like a week. And like realized that I need to like add to my spreadsheet of where things are and what they're being used for, which are things I put on Instagram so I don't repeat them. Okay. I had shoveled these before I started. Why I'm still shuffling them. Card of the day. Thoth deck to me is a very fiery deck. What day is it? 12th. 8/12. Strength and or justice. And the Hanged Man or a knight of any certain deck, suit. Or not justice. Judgment, which is called karma in some decks. Alright, so this is the card we've got. What do we got? I'm going to have to flip it around because I cannot see that well enough to read it. It's a 2 of Swords. Came out invert. I love these little like windmill fucking things on here. 2 of Swords inverted. Do I know the energy? Let's say it's the moon and something. The moon in Libra. Okay. Working with the same energies. Of course, with a moon card inverted, that tells me the sun, or eclipse. Also relating to the 19th, which is the new moon again. Libra energy relates to Venus. So the Empress, related to Taurus, related to the Hierophant. These energies keep popping up over and over again. Also, it says peace on here. So it's like unrest or like a challenge. Like I challenge you to a duel. It's kind of like a showdown. The OK Corral. Showdown at the eye fence. Defense. Paper cranes, paper cranes, paper cranes, y'all. This also has to do with, like, not changing your position as well. It's like, I refuse to see it from your side. Like, why don't you understand it from my point of view? You're being an a-hole. And you know, it's not only, like, you're not seeing it from my position. It's also that, like, somewhat narcissistic point of view of, well, what you feel has no bearing on my life whatsoever, like, whatever, I don't care what it does to you, I do what I want. But it's not necessarily that. It could be, it might not even be with someone else, it might be this having to do with an internal conflict, because Swords is very much in a mental state. It's all air, there's nothing manifest here. It could just be confusion that leads to anger, an inability to see clearly because you're stuck in a mindset. That's one of the things that I appreciated when I was going to therapy, is that I would be locked into this frame of reference, right? It's difficult to talk to family and friends sometimes about how you feel about your situation, because they have a point of view and invested in the outcome, where if they don't agree with you, you'll end up in an argument. But if you go to therapy and they're supposed to be, you know, unbiased, and they listen to your perspective of what you're going through, they might not be contrary and negate what you're saying, but they'll say, well, have you considered this? One thing that comes to mind that may be relevant to some people with these cards, and with this card in particular, is this idea of, I have to forgive people so that I can be free, right? I'm having a hard time forgiving so-and-so for what they did to me. Like, I can't seem to let go and forgive them so I can release myself. And the comment, at least, may not be the way that it was intended, but the way that I interpreted it is that if you go to forgive somebody for something that they did to you that affects you in a trauma way, do they understand what you're forgiving them for? Like, do they even comprehend that they did something that was hurtful? Because if they don't have any understanding of quote-unquote wrong doing, then an act of forgiving has no meaning for them. They'll just be like, what's this? It's like, I didn't order the lobster, I wanted a ham sandwich. And, you know, so now you're sitting here with trauma and a handful of forgiveness that you may as well just shove up your own ass because it's worthless. And it's just this idea that, like, we spend so much time in this, like, inner loop of, like, oh, if I just need to forgive them and then I'll be able to let go. It's like, well, for me, finding out that this huge act of forgiveness that's so spoken of might not even be useful or necessary was in itself the weight lifted off of me. I'm like, if you don't have to hold on to this unattainable goal of forgiving, then there's no burden there. It's just like, it's like the matching lodestone to I hate you is I have to forgive you. And you can just drop both of them and be like, toodaloo, motherfucker, I'm all set with this now. So I think that might be something that's relevant to dealing with a situation where there is no peace. Alright? It's like the windmills of your mind just kind of spinning around. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Oh man, this tape's starting to get itchy. Probably because I was like leaning into it. So we have the Prince of Cups inverted. I don't know if that's blurry or not. Let's see what kind of info. I guess it's kind of... Let me adjust the light here. Aziz, light! Okay. So we have the Prince of Cups. No, the princes in this deck are where the knight would be. So we go from a 2 to the 12, which could also be a 1. Today is the 12th, which makes sense, but again, we have... Oh, so this is the Prince of Cups. Even though he's on like a flying bird thing. Are they air? Is that what they are? No, they're fire. That's weird. Interesting. Cups. Pisces, no, Aquarius and Pisces with fire of water. Okay, so the Aquarian energy is giving it that little bit of air. It's like, I was thinking of like effervescent, but my head was like soap bubbles. So the Prince of Cups inverted. So I'm getting No Love Is Sorrow. It's a song by a band called the Pentangle. They're like a folk band in the 70s. Really good. So the Prince of Cups. The Knight of Cups inverted. Alright, so we have an inexperienced or juvenile masculine energy that's upsought in their emotional content. You know, it could be your own internal masculine or the masculine of your inner child, or however that reads for you. The idea is this feeling of not being the full master in an emotional way of masculine energy in this sort of like, this is my feelings, then these are the feelings, and I can make a timeline of my feelings. That's a masculine energy way of feeling, or sort of a feminine way of feeling is like, I feel like this, and then I'm over here like this, and then we're like, feelings, like a lava lamp, right? Because it's just a way of describing the energy. It's like left brain, right brain thinking. But we come to this emotional crossroads here, emotions, and notice how this bird that he's riding on has a wing here and a wing here. It's the two halves of the brain, much like the swords. It's sort of like a division where there's the Corpus Callosum is like, no, not today, we're not talking. So it's like, I can't express my emotions, I don't have words to describe this emotion, this isn't a planned emotion, I haven't encountered this yet. How am I supposed to manifest something when my heart and my thoughts are in this big clusterfuck, just spinning around and around and around? I feel like I should get more cards, but I don't want it to be overly obscured. Let me see if one drops out. Because these card of the days aren't supposed to be like a million hours long, but they've been really long lately. If the camera's shaking, it's because I got my foot on the bottom of the desk. Sorry. I gotta take that one off. And that one. That one too. Let's try something about playing games. Okay. Fool. So this is... wow, that's a weird looking fool. Very Taurian and also androgynous. With a tiger chomping on the leg instead of a dog. And there's a crocodile or somebody down on the bottom. This looks like this Prince of Cups tripping out like tripping balls. So Uranus energy, which is going to be retrograde in a couple of days. We've got these rings here, like there's a couple of rings around Uranus as well. Looks like the heart chakra is getting activated. There's a bunch of runes in a bag here. Transformative DNA activation. There's fire, there's an octahedron, there's crown chakra activation. The medulla oblongata. Interesting. This reminds me of that Ren and Stimpy thing of, it was like a takeoff on Jimi Hendrix, like belly button window. It was climb inside my world. Stimpy went inside his belly button and was like having this acid trip. Now this didn't come out upright, it came out kind of at an angle. And the way that I see it is kind of it's like having these opposing mental and emotional aspects, like atom smashed together in your head, like the collider at CERN. We have Aquarius energy and this Uranus retrograde energy. So within the next couple of days, it's like no matter what's going on with these with the Hanged Man, because it's a night inverted, which is that Neptune water energy. So we have Neptune's in retrograde. We have the Sun going into the new moon. We have Uranus coming retrograde. And then we have this Libra energy with Venus, which I think is in Cancer, but I'm not sure. Which should change to the Two of Cups instead of the Two of Swords. That's kind of freaky. Interesting. So this is like blowing the Corpus Callosum open and having all the perspectives at once. Now this could be a 1 as well, so it is kind of a countdown. 210. I think I need another card. I feel like it's been over a week now that I've been getting these energies, but I don't know. The days are slipping by faster and faster. Okay, this one flipped around. It's art, temperance in this deck, 14. 14 breaks down to a 5, which is that pivot energy. This is Sagittarius energy, so we have the South Node representing again. This lion and the phoenix, both animals of fire. So this is giving this aspect of the emotional quality, the water, mixing with the fire, which is where it's like too much fire clouds your ability to think, right? Like rage, anger. But when you temper the fire, it gives you that passion and that ability to pick up, like, insightfully. So we have art. It was like interacting with other people can be an art form in and of itself, but also this idea that the ability to make art enables manifestation. All of these cards are existing outside of the material world. The only thing that's even linking it at all to any grounding whatsoever is that Libra energy linked to the Empress and the Hierophant and Taurus. And it's kind of giving me this double confirmation information that I've been getting, where, like, the only way to ground in this sort of ethereal roller coaster is to link to your higher self, to open up the third eye, and according to this guy, the crown as well. And these cards are all dealing with dualities and uniting the different aspects of left brain, right brain, dark, light, masculine, feminine. Though not as explicit, but it's definitely left brain, right brain. There's this insistence of needing to be able to see for more than one viewpoint, to be able to think methodically but creatively. You don't want this sort of creative chaos where you're just like doing things, and it just sort of swims around in this soup and nothing ever manifests. You need to have that fire to... The Sagittarius energy is like an arrow. It's like, fing, and then it's like, okay, we're going that way. So all this other crap that you've been doing sort of sticks on to the end of the arrow. It's like, we're going in that direction. Like, get in, losers, we're going for a ride. So it's about clarity by sort of like stereoscopic vision. You can see over here, you can see over here, and now everything is more clear. It's not a square, it's not a circle, it's a cylinder. Like, oh my god, now I know what we're doing. So these energies are extremely I mean, it's really intense, but it's just everything's indicating that there is some heavy crap, some heavy shit going down between the 15th and the 19th, or thereabouts, depending on when the energy hits you. So I need to stop because it's just going to be a broken record. But look at this. These cards are pretty matchy-matchy. orange and green with circular shapes and critters. So when I lay these out in a row, hold them all up, it does look like a progression. Right, this sort of mental conflict is leading to an emotional breakdown. You're sort of hanging out on a tree waiting for some kind of cosmic download, and it's like, hold on to your butt. And then the ultimate thing is healing. Right? Jack into the universe. I think that's good. 2 and 14. That's the tower. That's that breaking down of the Corpus Callosum. And then we have 1. '17, the star. That's hope, but also Aquarius energy again. And then if it's 12, that's 3. That's the star again. But also judgment and karma resolution, as well as this is also 14. Yeah. So we have 14 and 14 and a 0 point as well, and we have a completion 10 and then 20 and then 5 a couple of times. So it's this breaking down, this opening up, this shifting, and then resolution of like mental, emotional karma. And they're really, it's like splitting open your consciousness with only a vague reference to needing to be grounded to sort of absorb the energies. Okay. So that's it for today's reading, which is massive. If you want to get a personal reading, you can hit me up. There's thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com. The complete list of readings and how much they cost is in the description box of my infomercial video. It's going to be linked below this. And then if you're just skimming my channel, the thumbnail looks just like this. Right, you can find me at these fine locations. If you want to donate, that's paypal.me/cattheminion. I have Cash App and Venmo. You can also come over and hang out with me on Patreon. I'm going to be getting stuff on there soon. I just started it a couple days ago. So I've got coloring books and a poetry book on Amazon. I've got actual art items. I have merch and prints. And I've been on Instagram for like a week or so now, so I'm over there too. I'm around. Alright, I think that's it, so stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.